All right, mom and dad, it's time to talk about what happens when your kid confesses to or is caught watching pornography. You know, with the numbers today, the statistics and the stories showing us that middle and high schoolers, even down to 8, 11 years old, these kids are watching pornography at rates that are skyrocketing right now. And so the chances of it happening to you with at least one of your kids is very, very high. So the question is, what do you do? And then definitely, what do you not do when this happens? Okay, so maybe you come in, usually it happens if you walk into a space where your kids are watching something, they close their laptop or they swipe away on their device, or maybe you use, and good for you if you are, using parental controls or a parental monitoring system like Bark, and you get an alert that your child is watching something, or maybe it's just a gut feeling that you have and you want to have a conversation with them. So what's the first thing that you need to do here? Okay, so number one, do not freak out. Did I just say do not freak out? It's so important that you don't freak out, okay? And I travel around, I talk to parents and kids about all of this stuff, and when I talk about the dangers of this woman-hating, vile, disgusting, objectifying dehumanization that is hardcore pornography today that kids can access in their pockets in HD 24/7, anonymously for free in many cases, it freaks people out. And of course, parents want to break phones and devices and throw things out the window, and I totally get that response. However, it is important, above all things, that we do not freak out, rage in anger, or respond in a way that's only going to compound the guilt and the shame that most likely your child is already feeling at that moment, okay? So you got to fake it till you make it, mom and dad. You have to just compose yourself and respond. Not like casual, like as if it doesn't matter, but say, hey, there is a way to speak that is compassionate as well as intentional, but not berating them or beating them down. And I want you to think of this one thing, okay? You might need to write this down to remember this. Affirm the fact that young people are curious about sex, but then add this. However, pornography is not the healthy way to learn about it. Okay, so let me say that again. It's okay to be curious about sex, but pornography is not the way that we learn about it. It's not the way that we, grow in our understanding of what healthy sexuality is. And then you can affirm this, mom and dad. It is my job and my responsibility to do that. So that brings up another point. When you're creating these safe places for your kids to confess, recently I've been learning more about sex trafficking. We had a live webinar recently about it, and when it comes to these issues of rape, assault, being touched, kids being exposed to things, predators online or meeting with them, or obviously stumbling across pornography, it is vital that we create a safe space for our kids to confess and to share openly what has happened to them. Something can happen to them when they're young and they carry this for years and it damages them so deeply. Maybe some of you understand what I'm talking about. And so, mom and dad, we have to. I don't care if you come from a great family, a family of faith, or great schools, or great friends, and all of these things. In fact, sometimes it makes it harder for kids because they feel like they're going to let you down. They feel more guilt and shame or some kind of religious thing on top of them that I'm saying that can be negative. So you have to understand, and don't be delusional, that these things aren't happening to your children. Ask these questions, be proactive about it, have these discussions, but if it does come up, make sure that you don't berate them, okay? So, secondly, so that's what you shouldn't do, okay? So don't beat them up. So what should you do? If you have not locked down your child's device, right? If they're looking at this stuff and you are a part of it because you have not put on the filters, the whole home filters, or the parental control filters that you need to on their devices, then guess what, mom and dad? A part of this is your responsibility, and you need to take responsibility. You need to apologize. You need to, honestly, repent, to your kids. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to say, listen, I take responsibility for this. I did not protect you the way that I should have. I'm going to make changes starting today. Please forgive me. Now, of course, if you're watching this now, don't ever let it get to that. Start making changes today, and you can learn how to do that at familytechgameplan.com. I have a free in-depth video presentation that introduces you to some of these parental controls and filters and monitoring systems that you need to have today. But if it does happen, that is what you need to do, okay? And connected to that, the third thing, and lastly, this is what I would say. You don't need to take away the device in that moment. If this is a heavy thing, or if you ask some questions, which I encourage you to do, like, hey, when did this start? It is important that you understand how long this has been going on. If you can have that conversation without being threatening to them in that moment, have it. If you have to take away some devices or do something immediately, then do that. Otherwise, I would say something like this. Hey, listen, you know what? I need to put together a safety plan. And it doesn't have to be discipline, mom and dad. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want your kid thinking that. Again, I don't want them thinking that if I confess something, the first thing that's going to happen is shame and discipline and punishment. I want you rather to pose it this way. Hey, you know what? We need to create a safety plan moving forward. Let's meet after dinner tonight. Give me some time to think about it. Maybe talk to, your mom and dad, etc. And then I want you to put something together. If you know that this is not discipline, emphasize that. This is a safety plan. It's not discipline. Now, some of those are short-term. Mom and dad, the long-term plans I talk about in my online course. In fact, it's designed to walk your kids with you through creating a family tech game plan. And the family tech game plan, which I believe every family in the whole world needs to have, is composed of and helps you build in your family 4 secrets of success that all need to be working together. Parental controls and filters being only one of those things. In fact, recently when we were in North Carolina, my 17-year-old son, who came with us and speaks about this with me, sharing with parents and young people what it's like living with a family tech game plan, he said something so powerful. He was talking about the 4 secrets, especially number 4, and he said, it's because of that I come to my dad when I have issues or when I want to share something with him. And it's really, really powerful because mom and dad, we're not just trying to build safety around our kids, we're trying to put it in their hearts. We're not just trying to put filters around our children, we're trying to get it in their minds as well. They need to own it. And you need to be activating the 4 secrets of success to make sure that happens. Okay, so you can learn more at familytechgameplan.com. Mom and dad, I know this is radical. You're built for this, okay? That's why you're a parent today. Welcome to Parenting in 2020 and beyond. You can do it. Talk to you soon.